This is WSLS 10 at 7.
We need strength, we need toughness, we need smarts, we need warmth, we need compassion, we need everything.
Now at 7, the Star City hosts Donald Trump and Mike Pence's first campaign event since accepting the Republican nomination, what the White House hopefuls had to say, and reaction from the community.
The Democratic National Convention kicks off, but the party is not unified. What Democratic leaders hope changes the mood of the convention.
And the links local health leaders are going to protect the community and stop the spread of the Zika virus. Good evening and thanks for joining us for WSLS 10 at 7. I'm Lindsay Ward.
And I'm Dawn Jeffries. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump and running mate Mike Pence touched down in the Star City today.
Trump and Indiana Governor Pence hosted a town hall meeting to talk to people in Roanoke about the issues that matter to them. Hundreds lined the streets outside the Hotel Roanoke despite the heat, waiting for the event to start. Governor Pence kicked things off, talking about the country's failed policies at home and abroad, pointing a finger at Hillary Clinton. He added his running mate Donald Trump understands the frustrations of the American people, and that he's a fighter, a builder, and a patriot. Donald Trump took the stage, blasting Hillary Clinton.
She suffers from bad judgment, right? Bad judgment. She suffers from very bad judgment. Her instincts are bad. They're no good.
Now, Trump also targeted Clinton's running mate, Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, for his record as governor here in the Commonwealth. Outgoing DNC leader Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Senator Bernie Sanders for endorsing Clinton.
Our own John Carlin had a one-on-one interview with the presidential pick. He has Donald Trump's message for Virginia voters.
Well, the rally is over here at the Hotel Roanoke. But earlier today, there were about 1,000 supporters here, all very happy to hear the various bullet points in Trump's Make America Great Again platform. And Trump criticized Hillary Clinton's choice of Tim Kaine as a running mate, and he called him a political hack. In my one-on-one interview with Donald Trump, I asked him why he was being so tough on Kaine. You were pretty harsh on Tim Kaine, and it seemed pretty obvious that you don't think that with Mrs. Clinton putting Kaine on the ticket, that's going to carry the state. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, he's not very popular, according to the polls, and I can see why. He raised taxes, $4 billion tax increase. Jobs did very poorly under him. I mean, his unemployment did very, very poorly. He didn't do a very good job when he was governor of Virginia, but he raised taxes to a point that very few places have seen.
Now, this was billed as a town hall meeting, and after Pence introduced Trump and then Trump spoke for about 45 minutes, they did take some questions from the crowd. So coming up tonight on WSLS 10 at 11, we'll hear some of those questions from the crowd, also more from my one-on-one interview with Donald Trump, and we have all that to look forward to tonight on WSLS 10 at 11. For now, I'm John Carlin, WSLS 10, Roanoke.
A number of people had tickets to hear Trump and Pence speak, but not everyone got in, even after they waited in upper 90-degree heat for hours. WSLS 10's Rob Manch talked with some of them. And Rob, you say a lot of them aren't actually disappointed.
Well, yeah, it was really amazing to meet a lot of these Trump and Pence supporters today who, even though not getting in, were steadfast in their support and didn't even care. Now, Trump and Pence did acknowledge many of these folks by asking the fire marshal during his speech to let some more of them in, but it was clear just from speaking to people outside and inside the event that here in Roanoke, Trump has a fan base.
I love Mr. Trump. I think he'll be a great asset to our nation. I just hate Hillary for one thing. She's horrible. To get rid of the one that's in there now, I think he'd be great.
He is very dynamic. He is really wants to help the people. I mean, it was just so obvious.
You get all the special delegates or whatever.
Well, people who didn't have tickets to the event but still wanted to support Trump even drove all the way out to the Roanoke Regional Airport to show him a proper welcome to the Star City. Now, I spoke to many more people who were inside and outside of the event to get their reactions today, and we'll have all of that for you on your WSLS 10 News at 11. In downtown Roanoke, Rob Manch, WSLS 10.
All right, thank you, Rob. The Hotel Roanoke responds to part of Trump's speech, this after he criticized the hotel, saying it needed to turn the air conditioning on. The hotel says the AC was on and working properly, but with temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, the doors open for hours to let attendees enter, and a ballroom filled to capacity. it all made it a challenge to keep the room comfortable.
And not everyone in the Star City was excited to see the Republican presidential nominee. A group of protesters gathered outside the event. WSLS 10's Bree Jackson talked to them about why they opposed Donald Trump.
We did not see much opposition as Donald Trump addressed a crowd of mostly supporters, but we did see some opposition before today's event started. We saw some Hillary Clinton supporters outside of the event. Well, some are holding up signs that read "Never Trump" and other opposing words. They say Mr. Trump is dividing the country with his rhetoric and called Donald Trump a bully who is not fit for the White House. And when it comes to the issues, some union workers that we spoke with say that the Republican presidential nominee is not on their side.
We know that Donald Trump is bad for working people. He has no desire to raise the minimum wage. He believes even the minimum wage should be lower. He is an enemy of the poor and certainly not supportive of the working class in the U.S.
And we also did see a heavy security presence. We were told that Secret Service as well as Roanoke City Police were here, but all in all, it was a safe and mild event. In Roanoke, Bree Jackson, WSLS 10.
Donald Trump laid out his plan for winning over Virginia voters, but political experts say it's a bit too early to tell if his time might be better spent elsewhere. He talked about his dedication to the Commonwealth, saying he spent money and created jobs here. WSLS 10 political analyst Dr. Ed Lynch says Trump will likely continue to focus on Virginia, but the outcome may not be what he's hoping for.
I think that Donald Trump is clearly determined that Virginia is going to remain in the mix. He is not conceding the state. We'll see whether or not that works out, because he may end up spending time here that perhaps would have been better spent in other states.
Lynch went on to say Trump's running mate Mike Pence will help the presidential nominee with evangelical and conservative Republicans.
The Democratic National Convention started today with a major announcement. Outgoing chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz was not allowed to open the convention, and talks are underway to keep her off the stage altogether. Wasserman Schultz resigned after emails by her staff were leaked. The email leak, which is being investigated by the FBI, detailed how the DNC worked to derail Senator Bernie Sanders' campaign. Today, Sanders supporters packed the convention center, but they did not approve of his message.
We have got to defeat Donald Trump, and we have got to elect Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine.
As you can hear, boos from the crowd there. Tonight, Senator Sanders will address the convention. Democrats are hoping his words will convince his supporters to vote for Clinton and unite the party. For more of our election coverage, you can head to our website, WSLS.com.
Hundreds of people marched at the governor's mansion protesting Terry McAuliffe's environmental policies.
The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided.
More than 60 different groups from across the state endorsed Saturday's march, asking McAuliffe to support people over pollution. Demonstrators included those affected by proposed pipelines and people concerned over water quality issues stemming from the introduction of treated coal ash to water sources. A McAuliffe spokesman argues the governor has fought for renewable energy, noting his push for more solar power development in the state.
19 people are dead and 20 more are hurt after a man attacked a facility for the disabled in Japan. Police say the attacker used a knife and has turned himself in. Now, this is a developing story. We will bring you more as it becomes available.
The heat is creating the potential for storms tonight. With more on how much longer they'll stick around, let's head on over to Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Hanowich. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, we had some isolated and widely scattered showers and thunderstorms earlier. Since it looks like the conditions have stabilized at least a little bit. Let's head on over and show you first and foremost for about the next 50 minutes, a heat advisory is in effect from Nelson County south and Halifax County, and then in same area once again tomorrow from noon to 8. Heat advisory will again be reissued. All right, the radar showing a few thunder showers out across, say, Wythe County, Grayson County. Then you head up farther north and east, and we have some rain being reported right along the Amherst-Rockbridge County line, also into areas, say, near Bath County, seeing a few thunder showers. All this, by the way, moving to the east at around about 20 miles per hour. Not a whole lot of energy out there because of the fact that the sun is in the process of going down. 84 in Lynchburg, 86 Smith Mountain Lake, 88 in Wythe. Smithville. Your day planner showing temperatures already in the upper 80s by noon tomorrow. We're in the lower 90s by 3. Your high temperature tomorrow 93, but it'll feel even hotter than that with the best chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms occurring after about 1 o'clock. Highest heat indices tomorrow 90 to 95, and in the mountains east of the Blue Ridge, you could feel over 100 again. So take good care of yourself and your pets too. In addition to that, wear that light color, loose-fitting clothing and stay hydrated. Under no circumstances do you bundle up. Lindsay.
Cannot believe he was about to say bundle up. Well, the president of the Martinsville-Henry County NAACP says the local school system really needs more diversity. At the suggestion of the Martinsville City School District Board, the interim superintendent is reaching out to community organizations for potential applicants. The NAACP president says more diversity will help students be more successful.
When we see ourselves, we see our possibilities. When you don't see yourself, then you say, well, this is a pipe dream. People tell me I can go to college, but not one person talking to me even looks like me.
The school district hopes to fill the positions by the start of the school year, but will continue to reach out to community organizations until the positions are filled.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, more than 1,400 cases of Zika have been reported in the U.S.
Now, local health leaders are taking steps to stop Zika and other mosquito-borne viruses from spreading here. WSLS 10's Bethany Teague has more.
Health department leaders are taking their message door to door across the New River Valley to educate people not only about the dangers of the Zika virus, but other diseases carried by mosquitoes. They say the likelihood of someone contracting the Zika virus from a mosquito in Virginia is still very low, but other more common mosquito-borne illnesses are happening throughout the Commonwealth. Health leaders say those living below the poverty line are more likely to be exposed to these diseases. They say it's important to empty or dump any standing water on your property at least once a week.
The message really needs to be mosquito control, because all of us have gotten cavalier about our concern about mosquito bites. It's just become a nuisance. But in fact, mosquitoes carry diseases, and that's what we need to focus on.
Leaders will wrap up their door-to-door campaign in Radford. They've already hit Montgomery County, and they're now moving on to Giles and Floyd counties. In Christiansburg, Bethany Teague, WSLS 10.
More people can now get help at the Community Health Center of the New River Valley following a $1 million grant. The center says the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services grant will allow for the renovation of the facility, which in turn will allow them to serve more patients at the Christiansburg site. The money will also allow it to add 2 new pediatric exam rooms and a new dental surgery room. The center will also buy new equipment.
Hundreds of local students may have to start the new semester unprepared because families can't afford school supplies. How you can help them start the new year off with confidence.